Here's the problem most partners don't see coming. You can enroll in the Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program, pay your fees, collect your benefits, and still stall out completely. Being in the program and winning with it are two different things. One is compliance, the other is strategy. And in 2026, that gap is widening fast. Here's what that looks like in real numbers. 96% of enterprise deals now involve multiple partners. Co-sell isn't a bonus feature, it's the default way Microsoft sells. And starting January this year, you need a solutions partner with certified software designation just to access things like PRACR, partner-led incentives, and prioritized sales engagement with Microsoft's field teams. So the partners who treat this program like a checklist, enroll, pay, badge, they're falling behind. The ones who treat it like a strategic framework, they're the ones pulling away. This episode gives you the 4 pillars that separate those two groups. The framework that turns program participation into actual revenue growth. Stick with me. Why most partner strategies fail. Let's start with why most partner strategies don't work. It's not because the program is too complicated. It's because most firms build their strategy backwards. They start with the wrong question. What designation can we get? Instead of, what business do we actually want to build? That one reversal changes everything. When you lead with the designation, you end up chasing points that don't align to your real revenue streams. You're optimizing for a scorecard instead of building a business. I see 3 failure patterns over and over, and they all come back to that same backward thinking. First is the point chaser. This partner accumulates partner capability score across multiple solution areas, a little in modern work, some in security, a few points in Azure, but they never go deep enough in any single area to unlock real co-sell motion. They have breadth without depth, and that doesn't get Microsoft sellers excited. Second is the reseller who never evolved. This firm still thinks margin on licensing is the business model. They're competing on price in a market where margin is compressing every quarter, and they haven't made the shift from reseller to strategic advisor. The program is not designed to reward that model anymore. Third is the ISV who builds a great product but never connects it to marketplace motion. Great technology, zero distribution strategy. They're invisible to co-sell, invisible to mass C, invisible to the sales motion that drives 96% of enterprise deals. Here's the core problem. Microsoft's program is built around cloud consumption and customer outcomes. It measures performance, skilling, and customer success. Real metrics tied to real business results, but most partners still think in terms of competencies and fees. They're playing the old game on a new board. The shift in 2026 is structural. Certified software requirements. MACC alignment. AI skilling embedded in every solution area. What worked in 2024 won't work now. The rules changed. So the solution starts with one question. Not what designation can I get, but what does my ideal revenue stream look like 18 months from now? Answer that first, then pick the designations that get you there. Pillar 1. Designations that pay off. Once you know where you're headed, you need to pick the right designations to get there. There are 6 solution areas: data and AI, digital and app innovation, infrastructure, business applications, modern work, security. And here's what most partners get wrong. They think they need all 6. They don't. You don't need to blanket cover everything. You need the right ones. The mistake is trying to be everything to everyone. You spread your PCS thin across multiple areas. You invest in skilling and certifications across the board. And you end up mediocre in 5 areas instead of strong in 2. Instead, look at your existing customer base. Look at where your margins are actually coming from. Which workloads are driving your revenue? Which solutions are your best customers buying from you? That's where you should focus. Modern work is the easiest entry point, lower thresholds, and SMB path available. And the new 2026 requirement, 2,500 monthly active usage growth across 3 workloads, is achievable if you're already managing Microsoft 365 tenants for your customers. The tenant minimum dropped from 12 to 5, which makes attainment easier for focused partners. So if you're starting somewhere, start here. But here's the thing. Modern work alone won't unlock the big co-sell motion. To get Microsoft sellers' attention, you need at least one Azure designation or security. And that's where the enterprise deals live. That's where Microsoft's field teams are incentivized to work with you. And the data backs this up. Deals involving designated or specialized partners close 4 times faster. They're roughly twice as large. That's not a small advantage. That's the difference between scraping by on transactional margin and building a real practice. Now, there are some 2026 changes you need to plan for. Modern work skilling now requires Copilot and agent administration certifications. That's new. If you're planning your certification pipeline for the year, factor that in. For business applications, Microsoft added Dynamics 365 Contact Center and Copilot Studio as eligible workloads. That gives you more paths to hit your metrics. The cost reality is this. Per designation runs about $4,230 annual fee, plus the investment in skilling and certifications. But the real ROI isn't the fee. It's the co-sell access and incentive eligibility that comes with the designation. That's where the return lives. So here's the rule of thumb. Pick 2 designations that align to your core revenue. Own them deeply. Build real capability. Get the certifications, hit the usage metrics, and ignore the rest until you have capacity to expand. Depth beats breadth every time when it comes to designations that actually pay off. Pillar 2, co-sell that actually works. Designations get you in the door, but co-sell is what actually brings revenue, and this is where most partners get it backwards. Most partners think co-sell means Microsoft sends them leads. A referral shows up in Partner Center, you follow up, and a deal closes. That's the fantasy, but that's not how it works. Co-sell is a two-way motion. You bring opportunities to Microsoft, and they bring opportunities to you. It's a partnership, not a delivery service. And the partners who win at co-sell are the ones who make it easy for Microsoft sellers to work with them. So what does that look like in practice? First, you need a clear, better together story. How does your solution drive Azure consumption? How does it modernize data? How does it accelerate AI adoption? Microsoft sellers are measured on cloud consumption. If your solution doesn't help them move that needle, they have no incentive to bring you into deals. Your story needs to connect your solution to their quota. Second, you need sales enablement assets that Microsoft sellers can actually use. Not a 50-page deck, not a technical white paper, one-pagers, case studies, ROI models, the kind of thing a seller can grab on their way to a customer meeting and use in 30 seconds. If your assets require a PhD to understand, they won't get used. Third, you need regular engagement with partner development managers and account teams, not just when you need something, not just when you have a deal to register. Regular check-ins, share what you're seeing in the market, share customer wins, build the relationship before you need to cash it in. Now, the 2026 landscape shift makes all of this more urgent. The qualified referral program was retired in March of this year. Partner Center is now the only intake system for co-sell opportunities. If you're not using Partner Center referrals, you're invisible to the system. And starting January 2026, you need a solutions partner with certified software designation just to access prioritized sales engagement. That's not optional anymore. That's the price of entry for Microsoft's field teams to work with you. There's also a structural change worth noting. Multi-party private offers are now the standard way to bundle ISV solutions with services. If you're an ISV, you need to think about how your solution gets packaged with implementation partners. If you're a services partner, you need to identify which ISV solutions you can wrap your services around. The era of going it alone in co-sell is over. So here's the practical playbook. Build at least one documented client win you can share as proof of value. Get your co-sell validation completed in Partner Center. Align your solution messaging to Microsoft's current priorities: AI, security, data modernization. Those are the three areas where Microsoft sellers are most incentivized to partner. The partners who win at co-sell treat it as a relationship business, not a program enrollment. They invest in the relationships before they need the deal. And that's the difference between getting referrals and getting ignored. Making co-sell operational. Now here's where it gets interesting. The difference between partners who get co-sell referrals and those who don't is almost always operational readiness, not capability, not solution quality. Operational readiness. You need three things in place. Start with an updated Partner Center profile that clearly states your industry focus and solution areas. Microsoft sellers search Partner Center when they're looking for a partner to bring into a deal. If your profile is vague or generic, they skip right past you. Be specific about the industries you serve, the solutions you deliver, and the outcomes you drive. Next, you need an active co-sell opportunities workspace, and I mean active, not just inbound, waiting for referrals to show up. Outbound deal registration. You should be registering deals you're already working on. That gives Microsoft visibility into your pipeline and makes it easier for them to bring you into related opportunities. And CRM integration with Partner Center referrals. If your referrals are sitting in Partner Center and your sales team is working out of a separate CRM, things fall through the cracks. Leads get stale, follow-ups get missed. Integration is not optional. It's the difference between a pipeline you manage and a pipeline that manages you. Now, here's the thing most partners overlook. There's an ecosystem dimension to this. 96% of enterprise deals involve multiple partners, so you're never the only partner in the account. You need to know who your complementary partners are. ISVs need system integrators. System integrators need ISVs. If you're an ISV selling into a large enterprise account, there's already an SI managing that relationship. You need to find them and work with them. If you're an SI, there are ISVs whose solutions you should be wrapping your services around. Identify them. Build ecosystem maps around your target accounts. Identify who else is already in the account. What partners are they working with? What solutions are they using? Who would be a natural complement to what you deliver? The REO model, reseller enablement offering, is becoming the standard way ISVs scale globally through local partners. Instead of trying to sell direct in every market, you enable local resellers to sell your solution. That requires documentation, training, and a repeatable enablement process, but it's how you scale without building a global sales force. And treat coordination as a discipline, clear governance over who leads which part of the deal, Who owns the customer relationship? Who owns the technical delivery? Who owns the ongoing support? Ambiguity kills multi-partner deals. Bottom line, co-sell is not a passive channel. It requires active pipeline management. You can't just enroll and wait. You have to build the operational infrastructure to make it work. Pillar 3, marketplace as revenue engine. None of this works at scale without a marketplace strategy, and I mean that literally. The marketplace is no longer optional. It's the transaction surface for co-sell, MACC, and certified software. If your solution isn't transactable on Azure Marketplace or AppSource, you're essentially invisible to the sales motion that drives the majority of Microsoft's enterprise deals. By January 2026, solutions partner with certified software requires marketplace commercial performance. That's a requirement baked into the program, not a nice to have. And the thresholds are real. You need to meet one of these over a trailing 12-month period. $4 million in marketplace build sales, 12 net new customers, each with more than $10,000 in marketplace spend, or 30 marketplace transactions with 8 unique customers. Each transaction at least $100. Those are high bars. Let's be honest about that. 4 million in marketplace build sales is not something you stumble into. It requires deliberate investment in your marketplace presence, your offer quality, and your go-to-market motion. But here's the thing. That bar is also the gate to access PRACR, partner-led incentives, and prioritized sales engagements. So the question isn't whether you can afford to meet it. The question is whether you can afford not to. Now let's talk about the MACC play. MACC stands for Microsoft Azure Consumption Commitment, and it changes everything about how marketplace economics work. Customers with Azure consumption commitments prefer marketplace purchases because every dollar they spend on a transactable marketplace offer counts against their commitment. They're going to spend that Azure budget anyway. They'd rather spend it on a solution that solves a real business problem than let it sit unused. So marketplace purchases become a way to burn down commitment while getting actual value. And Microsoft sellers are incentivized to recommend Mac-eligible offers. Their compensation is tied to Azure consumption. If your solution drives Azure consumption and is Mac-eligible, you're not just another vendor. You're a tool that helps them hit their number. That's a powerful position to be in. So if your solution isn't transactable on Marketplace, you're invisible to that entire sales motion. The seller doesn't see you. The customer can't buy from you through the channel they prefer. You're operating outside the system. Here's what partners should do about it. Start with at least one transactable offer published on Azure Marketplace or AppSource. Get it right. Make sure it's co-sell validated and Mac eligible. That's the baseline. Next, build a repeatable, outcome-based solution. Not a custom project disguised as a product. The marketplace rewards solutions that can be sold consistently, not one-off consulting engagements. If your offer requires heavy customization for every customer, it's not ready for marketplace scale. Then use industry-specific keywords and categorization so buyers can find you. The marketplace is a search engine. If you're not optimized for how buyers search, you won't get found. Think about what your ideal customer types into a search bar. Use those terms. And here's the key. The marketplace is not a listing. It's a sales channel. It requires active management, updates, and campaign support. Partners who treat it as a publish and forget exercise get zero pipeline from it. You need to monitor your offers, refresh your content, run campaigns, and engage with the leads that come through. Treat it like a sales channel because that's what it is. Pillar 4, the operational engine. So you've got the designations, the co-sell motion, and the marketplace presence. That's 3 pieces of the puzzle. But pillar 4 is the one most partners skip. The operational infrastructure to actually manage all of it. Having the right designations, a great co-sell motion, and a marketplace listing, all of that is useless if you can't track, measure, and improve it. The program is too complex to run on instinct and hope. It won't scale. The operational engine comes down to 3 things, and they're not optional. Start with Partner Center as your command center. Referrals, incentives, PCS tracking, marketplace analytics, it all lives there. If your team isn't checking it regularly, you're flying blind. Make it the default dashboard for your partner program operations. Next, internal program management. And that means someone on your team needs to own it, not as a side project, but as a dedicated responsibility. They track PCS targets, manage certification pipelines, monitor renewal windows, and flag issues before they become problems. If nobody owns the program drifts. Finally, financial tracking. You need to know what you're earning from incentives, co-sell, and marketplace. And you need to measure that against your program investment, because the investment is real. Here's the cost reality. Per designation, you're looking at roughly $100,000 to $200,000 per year when you factor in skilling, certifications, and sales motions. All 6 designations, $800,000 to $1.5 million annually. That's not Microsoft's fee. It's the total cost of maintaining the capability. But the return is real too. It comes from incentive eligibility, co-sell deal velocity, and premium pricing from designation-backed credibility. The partners who track this know exactly what they're earning and can make informed decisions about where to invest more. Now, there are some 2026 operational must-haves you need to be on top of. Security compliance is first. MFA for all admins and a security contact set in Partner Center. Microsoft is enforcing this, and if you're not compliant, you risk losing access to incentives and program benefits. Next, make sure your partner location ID is correct in your CSP distributor portal. This sounds like a small detail, but it's not. A wrong ID means lost recognition for your customer transactions, no points, no incentives, no credit for the business you're already doing. Check it and fix it if it's wrong. And quarterly PCS reviews track your score across performance, skilling, and customer success metrics. Don't wait until renewal to find out you're short. Review it every quarter, identify gaps, and build a plan to close them. Without this engine, you're flying blind, and Microsoft's program is too complex to navigate by instinct. The partners who treat it as a system to be managed, not a checklist to be completed, are the ones who pull ahead. The 90-day action plan. Most partner strategies fail because they are too theoretical. So here's something concrete. Here's what you do Monday morning. Week 1, audit your current PCS across your target solution areas. Open Partner Center, look at your scores, and identify the gaps. Where are you below 70 points? Which metrics are dragging you down? Write it down. That's your baseline. Week 2, map your existing customer base to your revenue streams. Which customers are driving your best margins? What workloads are they consuming? That tells you which designations actually align to your business. Don't guess. Use the data. Week 3, get your marketplace offer published or updated. At minimum, make it transactable. If you don't have an offer on Azure Marketplace or AppSource, start the process. If you have one but it's not co-sell validated or Mac eligible, fix that. This is the piece that unlocks everything else. Month 2, build your co-sell assets. One-pager, case study, ROI model. Get your co-sell validation completed in Partner Center. This is the work that makes it easy for Microsoft sellers to bring you into deals. Most partners skip it. Don't be most partners. Month 3, establish your operational cadence. Partner Center reviews, certification pipeline, quarterly PCS tracking. This is the engine that keeps everything running. The partners who execute this 90-day plan will be in a fundamentally different position by Q4 than those who wait. The window is narrowing, the 2026 requirements are already in effect, and the time to act is now. Here's the bottom line. Those 4 pillars aren't 4 separate initiatives. They're one integrated strategy, and they only work together. A designation without a co-sell motion is just a badge. Co-sell without marketplace stays limited in scale. Marketplace without the operational engine leaks value every time. None of them stand alone. The partners winning in 2026 are the ones who treat the Microsoft Partner Program as a business system, not a compliance checklist. They invest in the right designations, build a co-sell motion that actually works, make Marketplace a real sales channel, and put the operational engine behind it all. Start with the 90-day plan, own the 4 pillars, build the engine that runs without you chasing every deal. If you want to dig deeper into any of these, drop a comment. I read every one.